Alright, today we're going to be unboxing a somewhat matching pair of Para USA 1911s or double stack 1911s. These are the 1640 and 1445 model numbers. So here is the 1445, and like I said, these are the limited edition ones, or limited series is what they call them. And this one is the 1640. So we'll go ahead and open up the 1445 and the 1640. So both of them are going to pretty much come with the same exact accessories. Both come with a green Para USA branded cable lock, a 1911 takedown tool, and a small bottle of lube. As you can see on this side, green Para USA branded cable lock, a 1911 takedown tool, and I don't think this one has a bottle of lube inside, but you also get an Allen key inside of both of them. So both are also going to come with 2 extra fiber optic sights, a green as well as a pink or reddish color one, as well as a rear sight adjustment tool. And on the right side, in the 1640 box, there's going to be a warning card, as well as a congratulations card on the other side of that, and a manual. So both of the manuals are pretty much the same because of how similar these are. And on the back side is going to be a parts breakdown of both their single stack 1911 as well as their double stack or high capacity 1911, as well as a parts list for looking for parts. And over here on the left, in the 1445 box, you're also going to get the same exact manual with that parts breakdown and parts list in the back side, a warning card, and the other side is the same, as well as a pro shop brochure just telling you that they've got parts and accessories, magazines on their website. So both guns are going to ship with 2 magazines. The 1445 is going to come with 2 14-round magazines. It's got round indicators on the back side, Para USA branded floor plates, as well as black followers. And the 1640 over on the right hand side is going to come with what they state are 16-round magazines. However, I was only able to insert 14 rounds in them, and I'm not sure why that is, but that was just the case. Not sure if the spring was getting bound up, but both of them I could only insert 14 rounds. So these are going to be constructed of steel, feature black followers, and Para USA branded floor plates. All right, let's get these boxes out of the way, and we'll start going to the features of the limited series 1640 and 1445. Okay, got everything out of the way. So like I said, these are extremely similar in a lot of different ways. So typically I would have done 2 unboxing videos. However, because of all their similarities, I found it fitting to just go ahead and throw them both in one. So essentially what Para USA's high capacity 1911s are kind of older 2011s compared to today's standards like the 2011 from Staccato or the various other types that are out there. So I don't believe that either of these are made anymore, but you can find them on the third-party market and in the used section of a gun store or something like that. So we'll first start off with the barrel. The barrel on both of them comes in at 5 inches, and they are constructed of steel. One thing I do want to note that was extremely hard to find was any information on materials used for building these that Para USA used. So when it comes to materials, that's not something I'm going to be able to touch on in these videos. Like I said, 5-inch barrel, stainless steel, and it is in a polished stainless steel. It does feature a standard 1911 style barrel and bushing. And here is the 45 version, also 5 inches and polished steel. All right, and on to the slide. So the slide on both of them is going to feature a polished side face, both on the left and right hand side, and that is on both of them. On the top, as well as the bottom of the slide and the slide serrations, those are going to feature a matte black finish. So you can see matte black underneath here, and then here is the top side. That's the 1640, and here's the 1445. Extremely similar. You can see the model is printed on the side of this one here, and Para high cap on the side. Same as featured on the 1640. So the frame here is going to be constructed of steel, and it has a matte silver finish. On the bottom side is going to be a standard size dust cover. On the website, it did state that the grips on these was supposed to be wood checkered. However, these ones are definitely polymer. You can see the injection molding on the bottom side here, but it does have a nice checkering on the side, as well as the mainspring housing. That's also polymer and checkered, and it's the same on both of those. The magazine well isn't going to really have any sort of flare on it. You do have a slight flare on the very front side, but other than that, there is no flaring on either of them. On the front side of the grips, you are going to have some checkering, and that's featured on both of them. So on to the controls. So right here is going to be your slide stop, slide release, as well as your takedown lever. You can see that push button on the side there. You're going to have your magazine release. It does feature some vertical serrations on it. It's also going to feature a manual safety that is ambi, and it also features some horizontal serrations there. The trigger, they are going to be adjustable. I don't have anything in terms of what the weight is, but like I said, they are adjustable, and we'll go ahead and get that trigger going. So a little bit of take up, and like with most 1911s, I'm not going to anticipate any sort of creep or anything, just a nice click there. And here's the reset. Right back where you started. Very nice, very crisp trigger there. Let's go ahead and try the 1445. This one also features an adjustable trigger. Exactly the same amount of pressure needed to hit that wall. This one's a little bit, I would say, crunchier. Not sure if that's the correct word, but here's the reset, right back on that wall. You definitely feel a little bit more on this trigger. Not sure why that is. Like I said, both of them are going to feature ambi manual safeties. Both of them are going to also have skeletonized hammers, as well as grip safeties. Next, we'll discuss the sights. So the front sight is going to be dovetailed into the slide, and it's going to be a fiber optic sight. The rear sight is going to feature horizontal serrations for cutting down on some glare, and the rear sight is going to be dovetailed into the slide, and it's also going to be adjustable for both windage and elevation. Here is the sight picture right there. Let's go ahead and try out these magazines. Here's the 1640. It does drop free. Do insert very easily. And here's the 1445. And they also drop free and insert very easily. All right, here's what we're gonna do next. We're gonna go out to the range. We'll take both of these and I'll kind of demonstrate how they shoot. You know, basically, how are these as older generation 2011s go. All right, I'll see you guys at the range. to the part where I tell you my thoughts and opinions on both the 1445 and the 1640 from Para USA. Like I said in the beginning, these are both pretty much the same thing. They're both limited runs or limited editions. Both have the same size barrel, same finish, same pretty much everything minus the caliber. Now, caliber is one of those things that some people really love the 45, some people really love the 40, and some people really love 9mm. So to compare these separately, it's kind of what do you like and what do you have the most of and what do you enjoy shooting the most? And, you know, what do you trust for self-defense purposes or target practice, whatever. It's not really an issue of what are the differences here. They're pretty much the same, like I said. So these shoot generally fine. I had no issues with either of these. As you may have seen in a previous video on the 9mm version of this, I did run into an issue, and from the person that I got all three of these from, he also ran into issues when he first got them, and so all three were sent in for the same issue. All three came back, were apparently fixed, and like I said, I didn't run into issues with either of these, just the 9mm. So as far as finish is concerned, let's see how everything looks after a few rounds at the range. So here is the 1640. As expected, a little bit of carbon brushes right off that polished barrel. And same with the 1445, a little bit of carbon buildup there. And again, it just brushes off, no issue. As far as inside, everything looks good in there. That is black on the inside, by the way. And a little bit of marring on the top of the barrel, but kind of no different than any other 2011, 1911. Or sorry, this isn't something typical that you see on more modern day 2011s. The fit and finish on them is amazing. As far as finish is concerned on the frame, I'd mentioned it in the 9mm video that it did seem like a lot of this work is hand done, and so it's not perfect, but it is pretty nice as far as finish work goes. Not much pitting on this one. And on this one is a lot better, I think, in terms of finish and workmanship of all the angled finishes and everything to do with the frame. So would I recommend these in today's market? It's hard to do that because when you've got guns like the Platypus, guns like the Staccato, or really any other 2011 in 2025, it's hard to recommend something that, one, I don't believe they make these anymore, and so you'd have to resort to a used market, and two, something that has been improved upon as far as external extractors go, fit and finish, a lot of different things that these were kind of stuck in the past of what a 1911 was compared to a 2011 of today. A lot better fit and finish, a lot better functionality and parts and everything like that. So if you're looking to add to your collection, you know, of 2011s because you're a 2011 collector, not a bad thing to add. There's definitely worse guns out there, worse performing guns. As far as at the range, just like the 9mm one, just like any other 2011 I've shot before, very minimal recoil, very easy to get back on target. Now, both the 40 and the 45 cal did have quite a bit more recoil, felt recoil, than the 9mm, but that's to be expected. But yeah, not much to add here, not much to fully I don't want to give it a full recommendation, but definitely not the worst gun I've ever shot. But if you guys have any questions on the 1445 or 1640, just drop a comment down below and I'll do my best to get back with you. Thank you all for watching.